You've probably seen everywhere the importance of tracking calories and how it can help you get lean. But if for some reason, you find this a bit long or you feel intimidated, there's too much effort at the moment, I'm going to give you some ways that you can maximize the chance of getting lean without having to do the calorie tracking. So make sure you watch the whole video so you get a good understanding of how to do this properly. The first step, I'd say, is to train fasted, especially in the morning. The thing is, once you've eaten food and you go to work out, your body uses the food you've eaten as the main source of fuel, especially the carbohydrates that you eat. If we don't have food, then our body uses our fat stores as energy. So if you think about it, when you wake up in the morning and you've not had any food, if you go train fasted, your body will be tapping into those fat stores to do the exercise, which can increase the chances of you staying lean. I train fasted in the morning, I have no food, and then I come back and I eat. And that helps me maintain a lean physique pretty much all year round. The second point links into the first, and it is intermittent fasting. And this basically means creating a window of time that you can eat. I know it's not possible for everyone with their work and uni schedules, but it's a very effective tool if you can do it. So for the days that when I can actually control when I can eat, my windows will be from, for example, 12 PM to 7 PM. And in the same way, you're increasing the time where your body has to use those fat reserves for your energy sources. So all the way up till 12 o'clock, you can have a black coffee, you can drink water, you get your exercise in just before the 12 o'clock, for example. That's a good technique. So then by the time your fast opens, you can train and then eat straight away. And then you've got that window to eat, and then I normally stop eating 3 hours before bed to let the food digest properly and give me a good night's sleep. And then from then all the way till next morning, no food, and you train again. And I found that really helps me, especially with my focus as well. I found whenever I overeat or I eat too excessively, I can't sit down and concentrate. So that's another bonus tip as well. When you're in a fasted state, it helps you literally zone in and become laser focused on your work. So I know this can be tough for some people, but it's a good mental challenge as well, and it really primes your body. You get to understand that you're not going to die if you don't eat for an hour. That's the mentality that we've been brought up in, but it's not true. It really isn't. Your body can go for a very long period of time, and try it out. The more you do it, the better you get used to it. But make sure you're eating good quality food as well. The next point is to increase something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You need to increase the activity that's not directly related to calories burnt via rest, sleep, normal exercise that you do, and eating. So you find ways to make your life a bit more active, and here are a few examples just to give you an idea of how you could do it. Do an hour of work standing instead of sitting, walking to the shops instead of driving, carrying a basket instead of pushing a trolley, washing your car by hand instead of going to a car wash, doing some DIY or gardening around the house, going for a walk as a break instead of going on YouTube. And you see, if you add these into your life here and there, you'll find that your NEAT actually increases, which will make sure you're burning more calories in your daily life, and it actually makes you a healthier person as well. And these small things will compound later, which will definitely help in that fat reduction and keeping you lean. Now remember, if we're in the game of trying to maximize being in a deficit, we need to make sure we're making good food choices. And if we're not tracking as well, we're not seeing exactly the macronutrients that are in each meal, we need to ensure even more that we're making sure we're making the best food choices. So for proteins, I'd always stick to proteins that are lean meats like chicken, lean beef, whey protein, eggs, good whole food sources. As much as you can, stick to them. Then for carbs, stick to whole foods like rice, potatoes, beans, whole wheat wraps, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta. These carbs that contain good fibre, which are really good for the gut. There's actually muscles in your gut that help push food to the intestines, and fibre is really good to help with that. And then for fats, stick to healthier non-saturated fats like olive oils, extra virgin olive oils. Stay away from margarine and butter, and eat things like nuts. Another very key point, which I know a lot of people overlook, and I did for many years, was sauces and spreads. 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise is 100 calories. A tablespoon of Nutella is also 100 calories. And you can imagine everyone slaps on 3-4 tablespoons when you're eating your food, and the calories of an apple is 50. So just you having your mayo and Nutella is enough to put yourself in a caloric surplus and gain fat and weight that you don't even want. So make smarter choices. Go for lighter mayo, go for reduced salt and fat ketchup, but you need to start making those changes now, so then over time you will get used to it. And now that you know what type of foods to eat, you got to figure out how we portion it out. So when you sit down to make a plate of food, you portion your protein, fats and carbs depending on different shapes of your hand. So for example, for protein you have 1 flat hand. For low carbs like greens and salad, 1 fist. For fats, 1 thumb. And then carbs like potatoes and rice, 1 closed handful. And you can make your plate that way. It's a nice, quick, easy method to estimate your food portions. The next point as well, I know we mentioned with training in the morning, try to involve some form of resistance training. because resistance training helps you build that lean muscle, helps increase your bone density and your muscular endurance as well, which will be playing a big factor in increasing your metabolism. And then that way your body will literally be burning more fat on a regular basis because you've got more lean muscle. So even if you are a footballer, or you like martial arts, or you like running, whatever it is, try to involve some sort of resistance. That's basically pushing something away or pulling something towards you in terms of weight. So it could be with the resistance band, it could be with the gym, it could be with your body weight. Just try to include something like that. And the last thing to know is that everyone's got their own path to getting in shape, or even the definition of what being in shape and being fit looks like. If you've got too much on your hands to track calories at the moment, doesn't mean that you're neglected from the pile. But just because you don't track doesn't mean that you can't get in shape. It's just might be a bit longer. Just as with anything, the less data you have, the less accurate that you'll be. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Use the portioning method, do the intermittent fasting, and you'll find it will increase the chances of you getting leaner. And that's the aim of the game, Even if you're not tracking every calorie, as long as you're making healthier lifestyle decisions and you're not getting sucked into doing bullshit by other people, you're good, bro. Just stick to the plan. And as always, my message: keep building, keep progressing. I'll catch you in the next one.